Greetings everyone. Today I want to speak about politics. Politics has been an essential part of human society since its very beginning. Whether we are aware of these politics or not, but politics touches every aspect of our life. Politics is everywhere. Understanding politics is very crucial to make a positive impact in the world. Politics are everywhere and in every field. Politics determine the governance. Politics determine the distribution of power. Politics determine the distribution of resources. Politics determine the enforcement of laws and the allocation of rights and responsibilities. Politics is not just about government, it's about influence. Politics is about negotiations. Politics can be found in almost every setting in our lives, from family units to corporates, corporates to global institutions, from early human communities to the modern democratic systems. Everywhere we can find these politics. Politics have been a driving force behind human societies. They shape the rise and fall of our civilization because politics help define how power is distributed and how people work together for the common good, or how politics manipulate systems for their own gain. There are two sides to politics. Politics can be constructive, focusing on collaboration and shared growth, or politics can be destructive, leading to division, manipulation, and struggle for dominance. Actually, in ideal setting, politics are about public service, representing the needs of the people. But as we all know, politics have become a stage for accumulating assets, property, and politics have become a stage for personal ambitions, personal grudges, and personal revenges and conflicts. Politics is not just about elections or government. It is the framework. Politics is the framework that shapes our society, that shapes our opportunities and our collective future. To ignore politics is, it would be a great mistake, especially when even the smallest efforts can make a significant difference. As individuals, we might think that our actions are too minor to bring about change. But history has shown us that it is often those small, steady contributions that build the foundations for lasting impact. The roots of politics, they date back to the dawn of human civilization. Early human communities depended on cooperation for survival. They have organized their resources, distributing food, and resolving conflicts among themselves. These early political activities were often informal, but they were crucial for the well being of those communities. As societies grew more complex, more formal, the formal structures of leadership emerged into our society. Politics took shape in ancient civilizations such as Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, and China. The birth of formal political theories, it is often attributed to ancient Greece. In Athens, around the 5th century BC, the concept of democracy was introduced. Citizens participated directly in decision making and decision making process. Philosophers like Plato and Aristotle, they started debating the nature of justice, the role of state, and the ideal forms of governance. Plato, in his work, The Republic, he presented an ideal society ruled by kings. While Aristotle's politics analyzed various forms of government, concluding that a balanced constitution might be the best form of rule. That is according to Aristotle. Their ideas laid the foundation for political science as we understand it today from Plato and Aristotle. Politics had been reflected in mythology and mythological stories. For example, if we take Mahabharata from Indian mythology, this epic centers around two dynasties which struggle for power between the Pandavas and Kauravas. This story illustrates the complexities of leadership, the moral dilemmas, and the consequences of political ambitions. Mahabharata gives us a profound example of politics at play through the story of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The conflict was not merely a battle for power, but a demonstration of differing political ideologies and personal ambitions. The Pandavas represented righteousness, cooperation, and dharma. Pandavas' approach to politics was more inclusive, believing in fair rule and justice for all. This is why Pandavas fought for their rightful share of the kingdom. The Kauravas are led by Duryodhana. They showed how power can be wielded through manipulation, betrayal, and unchecked ambition. Duryodhana was deeply insecure and driven by jealousy towards the Pandavas. His refusal to share power, even when rightfully due to the Pandavas, is a classic example of how personal ego and power politics can override moral duty. In more modern times, Joseph Stalin's brutal politics in Soviet Russia, they are a chilling example of political ruthlessness. His rise to power in the early 20th century was marked by manipulation, purges, and authoritarian control. His policies led to widespread fear, suffering, and death. If we take violence and suppression in Joseph Stalin's resume, it was characterized by mass purges where political rivals, intellectuals, military leaders, and ordinary citizens who were seen as threats, they were executed or sent to labor camps, which are known as gulag. Stalin's great purge in the 1930s eliminated anyone who could challenge Stalin's power. And if we see the manipulation in politics, Joseph Stalin manipulated the Communist Party by promoting loyalists, eliminating potential rivals, and controlling the media to maintain his image as an undisputed leader. Even his closest allies were not spared. Many were executed under the false accusations of treason, including longtime comrades like Nikolai Bukharin. Actually, politics should represent the will of the people. History shows us that political movements often succeed when they resonate with the concerns of ordinary citizens. Whether it's the civil rights movement led by Martin Luther King Jr., or the anti-apartheid struggle led by Nelson Mandela, raising the voice of the common people is crucial for creating just societies. Politicians who listen to the common people and advocate for the common people are often the ones who create lasting change in our society. Now, politics is not always fair. Politics is not always transparent, or politics is not always honorable. Sometimes politics can take on a darker, more brutal form. These brutal politics refer to the ruthless strategies used to gain and maintain power, often at the expense of ethics, justice, and the well-being of the people, as we discussed about Joseph Stalin. These ruthless and brutal politics are characterized by manipulation, violence, corruption, betrayal, and suppression. Politics is a double-edged sword. At its best, it can bring about justice, equality, and progress. And its worst side, it can devolve into brutality, corruption, and oppression. Understanding politics means understanding human nature, our ambitions, our fear, and our aspirations. Our political system is designed Our political system is designed to take our diverse opinions, to refine them, to pass them through the lens of elected citizens. If we choose our politicians, our political leaders wisely, the political representatives have the capacity to discern the true interests of the nation. However, this system only works when we as citizens actively engage with the system. It is essential that we continually educate ourselves and participate in the process. Because without our collective wisdom, the system fails and the system falters. A well-educated population not only understands their rights but also desires to preserve their rights. Knowledge is not just power. Knowledge is not just power, it is liberty itself. Without knowledge, without liberty, freedom cannot endure. The strength of any government lies in its ability to make every individual feel like they are the part of system. When we feel involved, when we feel that we are the part of system, when we know our voice is matters, when we know we are more likely to protect our rights and privileges. The true beauty of politics lies in its noise, the clashing of ideas, the expression of opposing viewpoints with parties in power and parties in opposition. We must embrace this noise. We must accept this noise. We must accept these opposing viewpoints because it is in this chaos that we find solutions, that we find balance, that we find progress. Free expression is not just a right, it is crucial for the health of our democracy. It allows us to hold elections, it allows us to represent our interests and make collective decisions that shape our society. Society, government, and every institution that exists for the benefit of people, for the benefit of the people, and we must always aim to enlarge our freedom as individuals. One of the most sacred acts in politics is voting. When we cast our vote, we are not just selecting leaders, we are reaffirming our belief in the power of ordinary people to make careful, thoughtful judgment. And when elections have fairly and constitutionally decided our future, we must respect the results. In a true democracy, bullets are not the tools of change, but ballots are the tools of change. We are not merely subjects of the government. We are rulers of ourselves. It is not just about elections or about party politics. It is about how we interact with one another in all aspects of public and private life. It is about ensuring that our liberty, our human dignity is protected and preserved for future generations. The ultimate goal of any good government is to protect and promote human happiness, not to destroy. We must remember. We must remember that violence is not a solution. It is the tool of incompetence and a betrayal of democracy. True power comes not from force, but from an understanding of our history and the belief that democracy is about far more than just these elections. Today, each of us is a participant in some form of politics, whether in our workplace, in families, or in our communities, in our societies. The challenge before us is to engage in politics with integrity and commitment to the common. We must resist the temptation of brutal politics and instead strive for a system where fairness, transparency, and justice will prevail. Thank you. Thank you so much.